Hey guys, what's up? It's Rachel. I am out in the park. I'm actually at a playground that is right near my place. Obviously, it's really dark outside. It's like 11 p.m. and I just wanted to show you what the usual nights are like in Korea. Your neighborhood. This is my neighborhood and I am alone in this park. And still there are some people hanging out here. There is a couple over there, and there are folks over there having a little chat, having a little hangout. And there is a swing set over there, and there were some people hanging out over there as well. So even though it is around 11 p.m., still there are people hanging out in the park. I feel absolutely really safe here. I don't think anything is gonna happen to me. I know for sure that nothing bad is gonna happen to me. That is why I was 100% feeling absolutely comfortable bringing my camera here and sitting down at this park and talking to you guys, knowing that it's gonna go down very smoothly. The only thing is I'm kind of like self-conscious, so I'll be a little bit quiet because I don't want them to know what I am about to tell you. Obviously, I'm gonna tell you that I love you, but other than that, what else was I? Oh, as you can see, there is 0 person who's being violent. No one is being hostile to me, and nobody is doing any drugs here. There is no group of teenagers doing anything like dangerous here. Everybody is really being friendly, and this is how the usual nights are like here in Korea. I am alone. It's dark outside. I am at the park. I feel absolutely comfortable and safe. So here's the thing. Because I know that this kind of behavior is a suicidal act if I were still in the States. But because I am in Korea, this is reasonable. Like, it's a normal thing. Like, it's Wednesday, you know? So this is one of those things. Korea is a safe place. But today, I wanted to tell you why I am so scared sometimes of living here as a woman in Korea. Because nonsense, right? It doesn't make any sense, because I just said, and I am literally showing you, I am at a playground in the middle of the night, and I feel safe, but I'm telling you that sometimes I get scared because I am a woman. If I feel safe at this setting, then, like, why? Why, Rachel? But it is true. Sometimes I do feel a little bit scared. Like, it's not always good and dandy, Let me give you a very specific example. One of the main things that I feel uncomfortable in Korea as a woman in Korea is that getting a taxi here. Well, like, getting a taxi is very easy. There is an app, Kakao Taxi, and I can just call a cab, and it's like an Uber. But it is one of those situations that makes me scared to the core, and I feel very uncomfortable being in that situation. Even to this day, I try to avoid getting into a taxi by myself if possible. Isn't it ironic? I feel absolutely safe here being by myself at the playground. And I would rather choose to walk for an entire hour, maybe more, in the middle of the night than riding a taxi cab. So I guess the main question should be, why do I feel uncomfortable getting into a cab by myself? I think it's about being in this like limited space, very small space with a stranger, like an adult, male figure, like a man who is physically way more stronger than me and who can be hostile and not kind if he chooses to be. I think that's it. I try to avoid being in the situation. And here's what happened. When I was younger, when I was 15, I went to this hagwon and we studied like very long hours. We used to come back home around midnight, which is very crazy. But Korean education system is fucked up like that, but that's for another story. That's for another time. Anyways, we were preparing for the midterm and our hagwon, our branch was going through some issues. For some reason, like for 2 weeks or so, we needed to go to the next city's branch hagwon and study there. And we used to travel by bus, by the school bus. But there was one afternoon that me and two buddies of mine, for some reason, we missed the bus, and it wasn't our fault. So the manager of our hagwon made us take a taxi and go to the next city. So we did. And by the way, two buddies of mine, they were boys. Oh, there are mosquitoes here. So me and one of my friends, we were riding in the back, and one of my friends was in the passenger seat, and we were kids, right? 15. In order to get to the next city, we needed to get on the highway, not like a highway, but it was more like an expressway, a freeway. And as soon as we get to the freeway, I realized we were going to a different direction. For some reason, as far as I know, we didn't really have to get on this expressway, but we were. So I asked that question, and the taxi driver took a turn. Like he started to be really hostile and, like being the alpha male to the kids. Like I am the driver, and we were so scared. We couldn't say a word to him, so we were just sitting there. We were just talking through our eyes, and we legitimately thought that he was kidnapping us. Like he is taking us to a different place. And here comes the fucked up part. I still remember how much I was scared and my friend was scared, but the driver molested my friend who was in the passenger seat. Like, it is fucked up. Back in the days, adults, grown-ups used to touch boys. It is like messed up. Like I've seen it, and it's like their way of expressing their loves. I don't know, but he did it. My friend clearly refused, and he clearly showed how uncomfortable he was, but he did it anyways, being like really scary and dominant. And do you know the feeling like you are in this limited space and you're not the one who makes the call? Like, you just shut up, you're a kid, just stay in there and I call the shots, and like you are under my control. And we really asked him to stop the car, and we got off and we called the cops right away. At that time, we didn't say anything about the situation, but we just said, oh, this driver tried to kidnap us. But the police didn't take it seriously. Like, he thought we were joking, kidding. They hung up the call because clearly, like, we were out of the taxi cab, and from then on we were able to find the academy, the hagwon. So technically we weren't missing childs. So that was that. But even after I became an adult, and when it was a situation that I needed to take a cab, I really did my best to avoid that situation. If I am hanging out with my friends far from my place, I try to keep the time limit to not miss the last train. Of course, there are so many horror stories about those situations as well, like riding a taxi cab, taxi driver kidnaps her, and if you are drunk, taxi drivers take you to this secluded area and they would do bad things, horrible things to you. You know, we've all read so many countless articles. It's been done for forever. So how can I be so sure that it's not going to happen to me? So I was always scared. After I get a job, there has been some situations that I had to take a cab for work by myself. And I did because I had to. Because I am at work, this is what I needed to do. I need to deliver this document from point A to point B. I have a meeting or something like that. But at those situations, I learned how to put on this like mean mug on my face. I put on this character and I played really like I become this mean person. I pretend to be like this stronger person who I am not, and who has like a loud voice and who is like kind of angry, so that the driver won't be like so easily hostile to me. You know what I mean? I played like really tough so that they don't see me as weak. It's like a coping mechanism, or like I'm trying to protect myself by playing it really tough, but inside I'm always like holding my phone and checking the location where I am at, like checking GPS minute by minute, and I always text people, tell them where I am at, and share the plate number, blah blah blah. But outside, I try to become a different person than I am, but it's so tiring at the same time. And it's so weird because, get this, I would rather walk an hour in the middle of the night to my place than being in a limited space with the driver. That setting makes me uncomfortable to the core, and I would rather risk my life by walking on a street. It's so weird, and I can do that. I can make that choice because I know Korea is safe. I can walk in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So is Korea safe or not? It's not. I don't know. Korea is safe because look at me. During the whole time, some people, like I know some people were walking in the background, but none of them paid any attention to me, even though I'm this lunatic, crazy person talking by myself in the park, but no one is like interrupting me or anything like that. And I can just hang out here, have a beer or something, but I won't get in a taxi cab by myself because of my childhood trauma and some of the bad experiences, bad interactions that I had with taxi drivers over the course of the years. So is Korea safe? And I know for sure if I were a bigger person, if I were a man, then none of this would have happened. I would feel very much comfortable riding a taxi cab by myself. Of course, not all taxi drivers are bad, but I know there are more good people than bad people, but it's just me not wanting to take the chance. Sometimes it gets frustrating because none of my ex-boyfriends understood the situations. Of course, my ex-boyfriends try to walk me home, or we would hang out near my place so that I could get home easily without having to worry about how I could get to home safely. They would do it for me, but they can't understand the situation because, like, to them, those situations never happened to them. So how can they know that? They just hear it because I say it, but they don't understand it. I think that's the case. And I know you'll be surprised after watching this video. Like, wow, this is Korea. Korea is super safe. Rachel is out in the park in the middle of the night and nothing bad happens to her. And she can do this all day, every day. I can do this all day. No joke. But she won't get into a taxi by herself because she's scared. So is Korea safe? I know it is a safer country than a lot of countries out there, including the States. But what do you think? Do you always feel comfortable when you get into a taxi? When you take an Uber, do you always feel safe? Or do you need to play it tough? Like, do you need to put on this mean mug on your face to protect yourself? And you would rather be like exhausted after, because, you know, it takes a little, like, some energy to become this person who you're not. I don't know. Let me know. It is a discussion. Is Korea safe? Is it tough being a woman in Korea? As a woman, do they feel safe or scared or feel endangered by being in Korea? Let me know what you think. Okay, but that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, love you, and goodbye.